Take two, my friends. I just recorded this entire video on mute like an amateur. But all the same, I want to talk to you today because I keep seeing this dangerous precedent set in streams, in videos, and everything else. And that precedent is this hyper focus on this game's meta. Who should I pull? Who can I skip? Should I go A1? What about rank 2? All these different things. And I think a lot of people are kind of missing the way that this game works and why all those questions are honestly somewhat irrelevant. Not to say that you shouldn't watch content or that you shouldn't go out there and get some A1s and things like that, but I want you to have a realistic understanding of what you're asking and what it truly means. So in this game, I'm going to go against the trend, or maybe against the trend for some, and tell you that the meta is worthless. There's no meta you should be chasing in this game whatsoever. And the reason is, if you're not a whale, you are not part of the meta. And I'm going to say that again. If you are not a whale, you are not part of the meta. I don't care what characters you pull. So let me show you how I can back that statement up. If I go to Sea of Souls, I want to show you that right now on my unofficial runs, these are my starting runs that I do at the beginning of a cycle just to make sure I don't miss out on rewards, I am top 2%. Okay? And yeah, you could say, you know what, you've pulled Yui, you've pulled Joker, you've pulled Fox. That's fine. That is part of the equation. I am not in the top 1%. I'm not a whale. I'm not even at the dolphin status. So let me go into the ranking info. And this is not me calling out whales. I love whales. You should know this if you've been to my streams. They fund the game. They are keeping the servers alive. They are letting me enjoy this game the way that I enjoy it because they're frankly paying for it. But let me show you some of their teams. Look at this. Number one player, all A6, couple with A6 weapons. Number two, all A6 weapons, full characters, full weapons. Let me go down to number 10, all A6. Let me go down to number 20. Let's see when this stops. All A6. Let's go down to number, 40. Not quite A6. We finally got to not all A6s, but they have an A6 Ryuji. They have Minami. Let's go back up to 30. You know, you've got another A6 Joker. These are the people that are truly in the meta. They are putting in the amount of investment it takes to A6 that many characters. You will not be able to get number one unless you do this. This is not, at this point, just skill. It is skill. You have to do your rotations correctly to get the top scores. There's no doubt about that. But you're competing against people that have A6'd all of their characters. A6'd some or all weapons. Look at this. This person's amazing. Hellboy, you are a god. All 1%. They're probably going to be all top 1% here on this round too. So when you ask the general question of, is it safe to skip Cord? Well, let me ask you this. Are you asking because you want to be on the top of the leaderboard or just because you think that character is great because you heard a content creator like myself say it? I don't think you should chase the meta in this game. I think you should chase your fun in this game. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So I would say that, yes, technically I've pulled all the characters to date. I will have to start skipping characters because I don't have the kind of funds to chase every single character in this game. And so, yeah, I've got some decent scores now. They will get worse. And no, my thumbnail was not clickbait. I am 1% and I still have a bad score. By comparison of those who, have pulled these other characters or are doing better rotations or have better teams set up. And so down here, if you look at my team, actually, let me get my face out of the way so you can see them. If you look at my team, I'm running Fox. I pulled him. I'm going to have fun with him. I'm not running Minami. I have her. If I put Minami in Yui's slot, this score will go up. And it'll probably go up a few million. Not like a small number. It will go up quite a bit. My personas are not optimized. I have not put Racunda on Mithras. I could probably pick a better one than Bishab, or however you say his name. I could put dupes into Jack Frost. There's a lot of things I could do here. I could optimize my cards. There's a ton of things that I could do to make this fight a much higher score. But if I put all of my energy into that, then I'm going to stress over, did I hit 22 million? Did I hit 23 million? Did I hit 25 million? And not did I have fun? Did I, rank as high as I could while enjoying my day? Reward-wise, it doesn't matter. I've already gotten all the rewards. My companion already got all the rewards. Me getting a bigger score at this point, outside of maybe a temporary badge, there's nothing left for me to get. I've gotten it all. And it's the same for you. Once you get these rewards, who cares if you are, 75 million or 2.4 just to get this bottom ranking? It doesn't matter. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to have fun. I want to use Yui in content, whether she's optimal or not. And so I'm going to show you this fight. And I'm going to tell you, I'll put a link to his channel down below. But Earphone, and I always say his name wrong, so I'm not even going to try to say the whole thing. He has amazing guides if you want to do like the best rotations in Guild Boss. So, you know, again, if we take out the whales and the scenarios, for your person who might be free to play or maybe has pulled a couple characters, he is your go-to, and I'm going to link his channel. I went to it. I was on his live stream talking with him in chat yesterday. You know, really great content creator coming up. And so I want you to go check him out if you really want to see top competitive teams. But I could absolutely run the same team, same exact rotation that he ran, and get, you know, around the same score that he got. Because some of this is going to be a little bit of RNG because of how many, you know, how many times do I crit? How many times do I get a follow-up even? Sometimes you can go through a dry spell and follow-ups on all these characters. And so, you know, there are some things that are left to chance, you could say. But if I ran his team, and I'm not going to, but if I ran it, and then even if I put Minami in it, then I could get something in the neighborhood of the score. So if that's what you care about, is the perfectly optimal rotations and when to layer this buff against that buff against this debuff, then he is your man. You know, go check him out. But what I'm going to do here instead is my version of this fight, and this is not your version, this is not someone else's version. My version is to come in and say, can I do this without a healer? There's a little bit of risk here. Now my characters are level 70, so I'm in a better state. I am meeting the conditions of the actual fight. So, you know, they all have different mechanics. This one wants you to bring a defender or a healer to, you know, reduce how much damage you take. And I've got Yukimi over here. Excuse me. So, you know, she is going to help me in that regard. I'm dealing ice follow-up damage because, of course, I pulled Fox. And no, I'm not going to win this fight without Fox. I pulled him because I want to use him. That's a, you know, a big thing. I pull characters to use them, not to put them on the bench. And, you know, obviously I'm using Yui over here. And so I want to do the best I can with what I've got and see how high I can push it. And even that move, like this is a great example. Her AoE, I haven't leveled that skill. Or if I have, I've leveled it up like once or twice. It could be hitting for more damage. Absolutely. Or like looking at things like if you watched on Yukimi, I dropped her gavel thing on the boss. It would do more damage if I hit one of these pumpkins. So there's other ways even within that alone that I could be doing more damage, but I want to punch the boss in the face. I know that probably sounds really dumb, but that is fun to me. Like I want to punch Cert in the face with a giant glowing gavel and then have Yui followed up with her, you know, redonkulous looking follow-up move. Like to me, that is just fun. And I'm here to have fun. It's a video game, friends. This is not real life. This is not a situation where you have to take yourself so seriously. You're not going to win an esport, you know, invitational or anything like that. So why stress yourself out? You know, if you come to one of my live streams and you ask, you know, what happens if I don't pull cord, or what happens if I don't pull Futaba, am I screwed? Well, unless you were wailing out, you were screwed anyways. Honestly, unless you were wailing out, in which case you wouldn't have asked the question anyways because you were just going to get the character and get him to A6. You were never going to be able to compete for the top spot. There is not a skill gap that you're going to close here. That by having A1 characters or A2 characters or A0 characters or anything below those really big A6s, that was going to allow you to hit top 1%, but not just top 1%, but like that top, you know, 50 even. Maybe there's one person out there who has just enough A1s to maybe get into that top 50, but I'm telling you, most of you are not going to be there. I am not going to be there. And that's not an insult to you. Like I'm just trying to dispel this community sentiment of my count is broken if I don't get this person, or, you know, I'm bricked and should I have re-rolled if I didn't get Joker, or hey, you know, someone was already asking me that when Cord comes out, should they re-roll their accounts? Like, well, why? Why would you? Yes, you could get her and guarantee her. You'd probably even get her at A1 or something like that, and maybe even get her weapon at R1. But why would you destroy months of progress, months of fun, months of leveling because this character is quote unquote, you know, one that you should pull? And even though I'm going to tell you that she's good to pull, and even though I'm going to tell you she's a strong recommend, why would you re-roll your account at that point? Just, if you get her, you get her. If you don't, she'll come on a rerun. She'll come on multiple reruns, as a matter of fact. Like, she is not going to be going away. And I think that she was even one of the ones you could pick for free during the anniversary. So there's going to be ways to get other characters. So, you know, it's hard because you can't see my face and you can't see the emotions that I'm trying to convey here. But I hope that you understand what I'm trying to get at here. What I'm trying to get at is truly as simple as this game is the best it can be when you stop worrying about a meta that doesn't actually exist. Or at least doesn't exist for most of us. Someone else told me too that they are waiting to pull anybody until they can A6 bury. And what baffles me about that is, even if we're in a content speed up of some fashion, even if that's like cut in half, you're still talking 6 months or so before she's out. And yeah, she looks cool. I am absolutely going to pull on Barry. I think she looks phenomenal. I think she's a fun looking character. I like the design element with the little ghost things coming up. And she just looks really cool. She hits all the marks I want in a, you know, damage dealer of that type. And so for sure, I'm going to pull on her. But I'm not going to skip, you know, months worth of characters, months worth of fun, you know, months worth of building and testing and doing crazy shenanigan fights like this, because I know that she could be so freaking cool. Because she is. She's going to be a cool character. She's going to do devastating damage. I think Bladesford put out like 1 billion damage or something like that on his channel. And I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. Yeah, but why am I going to sacrifice everything in the meantime? So thankfully this fight is wrapping up, so I don't have to ramble on too much longer. But let's see what my score is. Again, I don't think I'm going to beat my 15 million because I was half paying attention to my rotation. Yeah, I got less, but I still had fun doing that. So that's it. That's really what I want you to understand here. If I could give you any gift today, it's the gift, again, of freedom from the meta. Because unless you are a whale, and if you are a whale, thank you for funding the game. Unless you're whaling out, you cannot compete. And that's not me being mean. That's not me downplaying your skills. You could have the perfect rotation, but a perfect rotation of 4 A0 characters or 4 A4 characters is not going to compete against a perfect rotation of 4 A6 characters with A6 weapons. That's just the hard truth of the game. So give yourself some grace. Give yourself some freedom. Give yourself back the enjoyment of just playing a game because it's fun. That's why I'm so unstressed about this game. Like, that's why if I don't get Makoto, I'm going to be sad, but I'm not going to like lose my brain on it, right? It's fine. It's fine. So friends, I hope you understand the message I was trying to give there. If you found value in that message, I would love the value of a like and a sub, of course. And until our next video or live stream, please have some fun and take care of yourselves.